coffee was still warm, steam curled off the surface in a cabin that had been sealed for 27 years. Halden pressed 2 gloved fingers to the mug and felt heat bleed through the fabric. Impossible. He didn't move for a long time. The ship was the Meridian Row, a bulk freighter that hauled ore between the outer stations. Its distress beacon had pulsed for 3 decades before anyone bothered to chase it. Halden's salvage crew had docked an hour ago, following a signal older than most of them. The console still breathed with faint amber light. Halden wiped the dust from the log panel and read the final timestamp aloud. Last crew activity. Last hatch cycle. Last entry of any kind. 1998. He read it twice, then a third time, mouthing the numbers. He was a practical man. He knew the physics. Hot coffee surrenders its heat to the room in an hour, maybe less. Not a day, not a decade. 27 years should have left cold sludge, or dust, or nothing. Yet the steam kept rising, patient and wrong. Halden called it in. His partner Vey answered from the airlock, voice thin over the comm. No bodies, she said. No signs of struggle. Personal effects folded neatly. A meal half-plated in the galley. It was the Mary Celeste all over again, she joked. Nobody laughed. He'd read those old ghost ship stories as a boy. Sailing vessels found adrift, crews vanished, meals said to be still warm on the table. Most of those details were embroidery, he knew, myths grown over the bare facts. But here the warmth was real. He could feel it. Then Halden noticed something that stopped his breath. There were 2 mugs on the console, one near the pilot's chair, half drained, and a second, full to the brim, set carefully at the empty seat beside it. Set, it seemed, for someone who had not yet arrived. Vey found the discrepancy first. The ship's internal chronometer disagreed with the station records. By its own reckoning, the Meridian Row had been adrift not for 27 years, but for 19 minutes. 19 minutes since the last hatch cycle. 19 minutes since the coffee was poured. Halden's stomach turned as the meaning arrived. Time dilation. The ship had been somewhere that time ran slow. A gravity well, a velocity near light. Some fold in the dark they had no name for. Out here, decades. In there, a coffee break. The physics held. That was the horror of it. But dilation explained the clock, not the empty seats. If only minutes had passed aboard, the crew should still be here, mugs in hand. Halden turned slowly in the low light. 12 stations, 12 chairs, 12 lives simply lifted out of the room between one heartbeat and the next. Vey's breath caught over the comm. She'd found writing, traced in the condensation on the observation port, letters already beating and running. 3 words, drawn from the inside. Halden made his way to her, and read them by the light of a passing star. It said, "Don't drink it. Fresh condensation. Minutes old, at most." Which meant someone had stood at this glass and written a warning while his crew walked the corridors below. Halden keyed his light down the passage. Nothing answered but his own reflection, pale and unsure, staring back from every dark surface. Back at the console, Halden finally decoded the old distress beacon in full. It wasn't a plea for rescue. The crew had disabled their own recovery systems. They had made the ship a derelict on purpose, wanting no one to find them. The beacon was not a call for help. It was a fence. Why abandon your own rescue? Halden read the crew's final shared entry, 12 names signed beneath it. They had found something in the slow place, something that came aboard with them when they crossed back. It wore patience like a coat. It waited. It preferred, they wrote, a warm welcome. The full mug, set for the one who came next. Halden understood now with a cold and total clarity. The crew hadn't left the coffee behind. They had left it ready. A cup poured for the next visitor, kept warm by the same slow time that had swallowed them, waiting years for a hand to lift it. Halden turned to warn Vey, but the comm gave only static now, a soft hiss like breath. He called her name. He called it again. Down the corridor, at the far end where his light couldn't reach, he heard the small ceramic click of a mug being set gently onto metal. The temperature in the cabin began to climb, not the heaters. Something else, warming the room the way a body warms a held cup. His chronometer stuttered, its digits crawling, then hanging still. Time was thickening around him. He was starting to fall into the slow place with them. Halden ran for the airlock. The corridor stretched impossibly long, each stride slower than the last, as if he waded through years. Behind him, the ship exhaled warmth. He did not look back. He knew, with the certainty of a nightmare, that Vey would be standing at the glass, writing. He reached the airlock and slammed the release. The outer hatch groaned. Through the widening gap, he saw his salvage shuttle, cold and real and only meters away, 30 seconds of vacuum between him and the ordinary years. He pushed off into the dark and let the freighter fall behind. The station logged his return alone. When they asked for Vey, Halden could not answer. By his suit clock, the crossing had taken minutes. By the stations, he had been gone 11 days. They studied his face and saw a man who had aged somewhere the rest of them could not follow. They cut the Meridian row loose and let it drift back into the dark, beacon still pulsing its patient fence. No one was ordered to board it again, but the signal keeps going out hour after hour, year after year, and someday another salvage crew, hungry and curious, will chase it down. And when they open the sealed cabin, they will find 12 empty chairs, a table set, and a mug of coffee steaming gently on the console. Poured, it will seem, only minutes ago, still warm, waiting as it has always waited for whoever comes next to lift it. This transmission ends here. Another signal from the dark between worlds. Subscribe for the next one we intercept.